Starting. All right. All right, hold on. All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Sean
This is Joe.
from Geeks It Around. And yesterday, Marvel pretty much let everything out the bag. And we got a whole list of movies starting from 2016 all the way up to 2019 of hot products and some new films that we weren't expecting to be announced just yet. Um, let's start with the casting of Black Panther and the announcement of Black Panther, man. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what was your? I know you were hyped about it, so let me tell you, like, how'd you feel when they finally announced it?
Well, I'm gonna state with a caveat that I haven't really ever read like a ton of Black Panther like storylines. I've always just liked the character. I think he's cool, but I'm really excited about the casting. I mean, it's this is gonna sound like the most racist thing ever, but I was basically watching every movie with an in-shape black dude going, "What if that guy will play Black Panther?" So of course, like when 42 came out, I had that thought, but then I was kind of like, nah, he's a little too young. But when I saw the casting, I was like, I'm cool with it. Like, I mean, really, there's a couple guys that could have been cool, but what I like about him is he's up and coming, so no one really has an idea of how he's going to play him because he's only played historical characters so far. I haven't seen the only thing I know that he's done is 42, which I saw, which was fantastic. He was fucking great in that movie. Really underrated movie.
Yeah,
It kind of bummed me out that it didn't do that. That movie should have been fucking huge. Um,
yeah.
and then I saw the trailer for the James Brown movie that he's doing as well. I haven't seen anything else that he's done. Maybe I have, and I just
Mhm.
don't. I don't remember. I'm really excited for the casting. I mean, they did the casting, they announced date, and they fucking showed the concept art for the costume. So like
Yeah,
all that in a row, it's gonna be pretty fucking cool. And I mean, it kind of points to the rumor that uh, Andy Serkis is going to play fucking Ulysses or whatever his name is, Claw in
yeah,
Age of
yeah.
Ultron.
He's that was like we were saying before, trying to scratch our heads about who it was. Like just sitting down thinking, like, it's random that they just showed him in the Avengers 2 trailer last week. That also alludes to the fact that maybe we'll also be seeing Black Panther in Avengers 2. I mean, especially being that, the whole vibranium thing is tied to Ultron making his final form, and then we have, the vibranium also, which is supposed to be adamantium, linking back to Black Panther, and then throwing in Claw just sort of gives you like the little highlight that he might be in there. I mean, I was excited that Chadwick Boseman was chosen. I mean, early early last year, in the summer of last year, whenever 42 it came out, they had announced that Marvel was looking at Chadwick Boseman to come in and play back Black Panther. So I mean, it sort of set those up who followed those articles and that news about him possibly being inducted into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But getting the confirmation yesterday just really it was really good, man. It made me excited, and the concept art looks awesome, man. He has the white eyes, man. So they're really keeping true to the comics.
Yeah, yeah, I really liked it. He actually had the claws on and everything, and then it looks like it looked like he had one of the African style necklaces on too in the artwork.
Yeah,
I could have, yeah, and like that, I thought that was really cool. That should be interesting because I'm wondering what storyline they're gonna go with. I wonder if they're gonna show him in Africa in Avengers 2 if they show him, and then in his own movie they're gonna do the storyline where he takes over as the hero for Hell's Kitchen, like they have been lately. All the storylines they're writing for him in the comics.
I mean, here's what showing Claw could do for Avengers. Maybe you could have Black Panther's father be involved in Avengers. Not saying that he's going to get the suit or don the suit in Avengers, but having the father be there. Maybe something happened between Claw and Ultron where Black Panther's father was killed, and that could lead the like open the doors to like, oh, now like he wants vengeance. and we're gonna see that in the next film where he has to pick up the mantle of becoming Black Panther. Other there without doing too much of a background story in the 2017 Black Panther film. So I definitely think we already know that he's going to be in Captain America 3 Civil War. Like that's confirmed already. So
Yeah,
he's
they
going to be there.
they showed that picture of the three of them together. I
Yeah,
saw
so that's in the bag.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It opens up a lot of new doors. I mean, all the announcements. It's like it's really cool. Like they're like Guardians sort of showed the not only the Marvel universe, the Marvel galaxy, and they really showed space. But now like
Hmm.
they're putting they're doing all this other stuff. It's going to be cool, man. Like I mean, I'm excited. Like because ever since like I mean, fuck, when was it? Probably when they announced Thor. I remember I started hearing rumors about a Black Panther movie like all the way back then.
Yeah.
And then like I've been waiting all this time, and it kind of seemed for a while like they weren't gonna do it. And then when they were like, oh, we have all these things slated for Phase Three, and the only title they had released that was gonna be in Phase Three was Doctor Strange, and then fucking so like and then like that was kind of like everyone was like, oh, hopefully Black Panther's being in this. I'm glad he's gonna be in it because he's a cool character to have. He's a different character to have.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just like I said, like you said, just want to see where they're going to do with the story, where they're going to take him. But yeah, overall, I'm just excited that he finally got introduced. Wait, hold on. Do you hear the feedback that I'm getting on your mic?
I don't know. I guess it's coming through. Every time you talk, my little fucking green slice here thing goes up. I don't hear it when you talk, but maybe you are.
Huh. Uh, let me see. Let me see. You said that whenever I talk, it goes up on your end as well.
Yeah, like well, I mean, I don't hear the feedback. I just hear you. But the little like on my icon whenever you talk and the little green dots go up and down, I see that. I see
All
that.
right. So
I see that happening on my
so
end too.
so when I talk, just mute your mic.
Okay.
Or you got headphones?
No, not here.
All right. Yeah. So when I talk, just mute the mic. So yeah. So it won't go through that way. Um. So yeah, man. I mean, we have we have basically we're gonna go in order of when the movies are coming out and talk about each. I mean, there were six big ones that were announced yesterday. So well, actually there were eight. But let's go through the list of Captain America: Civil War now. Excuse me. Shit, man. Hold on. Yeah, Joe.
What's
Hello.
up?
All right. Um, let me start that over. So basically, we're gonna go through the list of the comic book films that were announced yesterday. There were eight that Marvel brought out to the plate. So let's start with Captain America: Civil War. It's something the title was officially confirmed yesterday. Marvel was basically bullshitting around saying it was gonna be named something else at the event, but at the end of the day, they confirmed that it was gonna be Civil War. Now, we pretty much knew that it was gonna come to this. Um, I guess like knowing now that it's definitely going to be the Civil War just really opens up the minds of all comic book readers. I'm pretty sure those that outside of the comic book world are definitely going to be looking at this saying, "Wow, Civil War! Like these two are going to be going at it." Now, with Black Panther included, let me ask you, like, where do you think they're going to go with this, and how do you think that they're going to handle the Civil War?
Um, I don't know. I never. I'm gonna be honest. I never finished Civil War because they did Civil. I was collecting Civil War was when I started to get back into comics again. I remember I started like probably a couple months before Civil War started, and then I was just buying the Civil War books, and then I fucking it got so goddamn convoluted with fucking Marvel because they needed you to read every single series to kind of not know everything that was going on, but all like the little stuff. So I didn't really read. I kind of skipped through it, but I remember the big thing with Black Panther was the fact that he was taking a neutral role and all that kind of stuff. If I remember correctly, but I don't really like. That's the kind of thing about it because they don't have the X-Men. Because I remember Wolverine was like kind of a big thing with that. They don't have Spider-Man yet. There's all the rumors that. What's up? Can you hear me? Sean, you there? This fucking shit is lame. I hate this. Shawnee boy.
Joe,
Yo, what's up?
I don't know what the fuck is that. Wait, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You can
No,
start
that's all
from the
right.
beginning again.
Did my did my mic cut out again?
Yeah, like it got quiet. I didn't hear anything, man.
Oh, you didn't hear anything? All right. So I'll just re-answer the question that you asked.
Okay.
You just cut all that bullshit out. It's odd because I remember I never read Civil War all the way through because Marvel got really convoluted with all the little books and all little kind of things were happening. I remember the big story with Black Panther was the fact that he was taking a neutral sort of thing in it, and his whole thing was if it doesn't affect Wakanda, then I've got nothing to do with it. And then it's weird because a lot of Civil War was kind of based off of obviously Tony Stark and Steve Rogers having their rivalry, and then Spider-Man was kind of in the middle. And everybody is seeing that the rumors are going around that Fox is dealing maybe possibly we don't know to get Spider-Man over to be in the series
You mean Sony?
or Sony, yeah, whichever. But that's kind of like what the whole thing hinges on. So maybe Black Panther becomes the guy who's in the middle of it all, and he doesn't know which side to take because he's such a new member and he's so young in the hero game, like you said. Like maybe that's what like it's the whole point of him. He's not Black Panther when this whole thing starts. He becomes Black Panther by Ultron killing his father or something. So it's kind of weird because you don't really because it's civil. What they have the two main players in Captain America and Iron Man, but like all like the little individual kind of guys on the side, they don't have a lot of them. So it's kind of weird. You don't really know what the storyline is technically going to be. Is Bucky going to play the same role that he did in Civil War, or is he going to take he'll end up in the same path with the same ending, but is it going to go a different route with it? Is he going to become sort of a different he's going to go down a different path? I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I don't know. It's weird because they don't have all the characters to do Civil War the way it was in the comics.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. That they definitely don't have everybody to join in on this civil war. It mainly looks like, I mean, earlier this week we also got news from Marvel that from Kevin Feige that you know there are going to be new faces that join the Avengers at the towards the end of the film. So basically, throughout the course of Age of Ultron, there are going to be new faces that are introduced, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't just talking about Wanda and Pietro. There are going to be new faces there that are going to join the mix. So I mean, unless you're including, different Avengers, different new faces and whatnot, then I can understand like them, clashing it. But if it's just like Tony with the Avengers and they're splitting to a couple Avengers go this way, a couple Avengers go that way, um, I guess. I mean, it's gonna work regardless. I mean, it's not like, I mean, we're talking about Marvel here, so it's not like it's not gonna make money and fans are gonna be like, whoa. I mean, you'll definitely have people like, well, that's not what happened. Excuse me. You definitely have people like, that's not what happened. But overall, I think people are going to enjoy it. And it's interesting that you brought up Black Panther taking over Spider Man's role in the comic book. That's really interesting because he is young. He's going to be a new member of the team. And I mean, spoilers in the comics, Spider Man did actually team up later on. He was like, hey, fuck this shit. I'm gonna take off and show everybody who I am, blah blah blah. So he did eventually work alongside Tony. But here's the interesting thing, because Kevin Feige said that this version of Civil War is not going to be like the comics. Like that right there, just it kind of puzzles you because then you're like, whoa, like so how are they going to approach this? If it's not going to be like the comics, it's going to be, it's going to step outside of that story that we know of. Then how exactly are you going to handle this? Not saying that I doubt that they'll be able to pull it off, but it's definitely something that's questioned. It leaves me like wondering, like, wow, if you're not going to do the whole beef on how it was in the comics, then what can definitely spike this? We definitely know that um, there are certain rocky moments within Age of Ultron. Obviously, with Tony Stark being the creator of Ultron, the team is definitely going to be feeling a certain way about him, or at least some members of the team are going to be feeling a certain way about him. That could definitely be the seed that starts to grow and fester into something that branches off to the Civil War. But the overall plot, I mean, I guess it's up in the air right now because we still have Bucky, and pretty sure people know that Bucky is going to play a prominent role down the line um, in the Marvel universe, especially in the cinematic universe. So just want to see how it's going to end up and how it's going to affect future films. Because if this is Civil War right now, then what's gonna be the outcome down the line? Like what's gonna be the aftermath? Especially with Thor coming out later on, a couple of years from that, or a year from that. Um, it'll definitely be just interesting to see like how that war between Tony and Steve affected the whole cinematic universe or the Earthbound, the Earth cinematic universe for those characters.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. I mean, obviously, maybe they can bring Ant Man will be out by then, so maybe they'll bring Ant Man into it. Um, the Black Panther solo movie is going to be after that, so it's kind of the weird thing is if you don't know if Black Panther is going to have a big role in it because he's not even going to have his own solo movie by then. Uh, Thor, you don't know what you know all the pieces. It's weird because not knowing what happens I think at the end of the Age of Ultron, you'll probably have a little bit of a better understanding of where they're going to go with Civil War when you see who goes with who, if someone dies, who gets added at the end of the movie, because they're going to have to add people that we don't know, because we know it's like you said, it's not they're not just going to do Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver at the end of it. I mean, we already know they're in there. They're gonna be on the team at the end of the movie. At least I think they are. So who else is gonna be in it? Ant-Man was cast after they were already filming Age of Ultron, and I mean way after, and that's still filming. Age of Ultron's done filming. So I mean, like, are they gonna go back and film scenes with Ant-Man and Black Panther coming in? Are they gonna just completely fucking go out of nowhere, and that's where Spider-Man will come in, and they are gonna bring Spider-Man in? We just don't know yet. It's just we're not gonna like this whole thing. We're not gonna know until Ultron comes out, which is obviously the way they want it. But like you said, Kevin Feige's like, well, it's not gonna be the same way in the comics. Well, yeah, we already fucking know that because you don't have half the characters. But I don't like, and I don't have I guess not at a big enough imagination to figure out where they're gonna go with it with the characters they do have. Sean, it's your turn to speak.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That's just bad because I was trying to fix the mic. And yo, it was quiet. You're like, Sean, it's your turn. It's your turn to speak.
Oh, I thought you muted your mic to let me know that it was that like you wanted me to talk that time.
No, like it was. Well, I wasn't on, right? Like you didn't hear me like clear my throat or anything, right?
No, I didn't hear you at all.
That's what I was wondering because when I looked down at the screen, my mic wasn't muted, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I hope I wasn't clearing my throat while this dude was talking, man." Like,
Yeah, no. Your mic was muted. Hey, you're not coming through my side anymore, I don't think.
I heard myself.
Oh shit, yeah, you are. God damn it. You weren't for a little bit though. Son of a bitch.
Like, even right now, let me see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still
I think
showing.
you are, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna jump on. We go to the Doctor Strange now. Yeah, so I definitely agree with what you said. Captain America: Civil War comes out May 6th. And let's talk about Doctor Strange, which comes out November 7th, 2016. Now, I mean, news leaked, not leaked, but it was like revealed that Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be play Stephen Strange, and that alone was like something that fans went crazy for. I mean, like everybody was happy. And, we supposedly knew that Joaquin Phoenix is going to step in, but that obviously didn't play through, and a lot of people weren't too happy about that. But Benedict Cumberbatch playing Stephen Strange is actually something that I can legitimately see working out. I mean, the filming is supposed to start early next year. They're going to be in Europe filming. That definitely works out for Cumberbatch because I know he's going to be doing a play out there. So I'm pretty much thinking that it's a done deal. I was actually looking for them to announce who would be playing Strange yesterday, like to give us the green light. Like, yes, it's definitely going to be Benedict Cumberbatch, but they didn't reveal anything. So now the release date is out there. Now that Benedict Cumberbatch is looking to be attached to the film, how do you feel about the casting so far for Stephen Strange?
I mean, I'm gonna be that guy. Some a while ago, I remember when they were like, "Oh, who would you want to play?" And I said I didn't necessarily want him to play it, but I said something tells me it's gonna be Benedict Cumberbatch because there comes like you see in a lot of movies, there comes a time when a dude pops, he starts being in fucking everything. And Benedict he's that guy now because he kind of I don't know what was the first one they blew up on if it was Star Trek in the Darkness, but that was kind of where the first time I saw him. But then right when that movie was getting ready to come out, I heard that he was Sherlock in this new version of Sherlock, and then he's the fucking dragon in Peter Jackson's terrible Hobbit series, and he's just kind of like that guy. And I was kind of like, oh, I mean, I could see him doing it because he's sort of like that. He's not fucking buff, and he looks smart, and he looks like I don't know. I guess I could say he looks like a magician or something like that. So I'm really happy with the casting because I like.
Wait, I'm sorry. And
What's
he
up?
looks like a magician.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Like I don't know. Like he looks like a I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's why I just went with fucking magician for some dumbass reason because like I can't talk. He looks intellectual. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like you look at the old school pictures of magicians back in the 20s and stuff like that. When you saw Harry Houdini and stuff like that, he's always looked like he could go all the way back to the 20s and be like those guys they had on those old timey posters and stuff like that. So that's why he kind of I like him in that role. I like everything he's done. I fucking love him in Sherlock. I haven't finished that series, or at least what they have on Netflix so far. But I think he's amazing in that. Of course, he was awesome as Khan in Into Darkness, and he was the only fucking thing that saved the second Hobbit movie, in my opinion. That movie was boring and horrible. I mean, I love the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, but that movie sucked. But he was awesome as Smaug, or the fuck you fucking Tolkien nerds want me to say it. But I'm happy with it. I think he's gonna be cool. It kind of he's one of those guys. He's a character actor. He gets into the role. So we'll see how he plays it. If they're gonna put the mustache on him, and I mean, he's obviously gonna have the white streaks. What his costume's gonna look like? If it's gonna be kind of more like robotic almost, and if what kind of version of magic is he gonna have? Is it gonna be sort of like what Scarlet Witch does, or is it gonna be I don't fucking know what. Like that's another thing. It's a giant that Doctor Strange is a character to me. It's like I had no fucking clue how they were gonna do Thor when they originally had it, because I was like, wait, what? They're gonna have a giant 6'5" blonde fucking dude, and he's gonna be speaking old timey Shakespearean style. I was like, how the fuck is that movie gonna work? It's kind of the same thing with Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is he's a character that hardcore fans like. And he's never had a solo series that's been really popular, but he's always popped up as this really big character in like the big things. Like he was huge in Infinity Gauntlet, and he's been in like a couple things like that where he's like this big propped up character. But I like it. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I like Doctor Strange. Those were out of all the movies they announced, those were the two that I was the most excited about, was Doctor Strange and Black Panther, because I think they're two different characters and they're two fun characters that they can do a lot of stuff with.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, like you said, Benedict is a great Sherlock. He's a great actor. I think it would be great to see him step into a universe like Marvel, and I think that's why I think, at least in my opinion, that he works out great as Doctor Strange, because it's not like he's some random guy that just popped up. Sort of like how people felt when Chris Hemsworth came in as Thor. People were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like what? But I mean, it worked. I mean, I personally don't care for the Thor films. I was, and even as far as numbers go, they really aren't that great compared when it's compared to obviously like films like Iron Man or Captain America. So, can Doctor Strange bring in the numbers and really pull it off? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Scott Derrickson, who's known for doing Sinister, so he could manage that dark element that Marvel was really looking for, especially when it's tied to the magic realm, which Scarlet Witch is going to be really the one who breaks the ice in Avengers: Age of Ultron. Like I'm hoping that she's going to be the one. We're going to see a lot of her abilities fleshed out in this film. It also makes me wonder, like the scene in Avengers: Age of Ultron, the trailer where they show Captain America laying there and the shield is cracked. I'm actually wondering if that's actually Scarlet Witch projecting that, whereas the shield really isn't broken, and Captain America really isn't down. Like, could it be like a projection that she's putting out there to make Ultron think that you know the Avengers are all dead or that they're all knocked out? I mean, that would be something great. A great way to flesh out her abilities, because people would be like, oh shit, like she has magic like that she can do this and that. Um, Another thing that you have to question about Doctor Strange is how they're going to introduce him as a sorcerer, because Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were humans at one point. We see this in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. We also see this in the trailer for Age of Ultron. We see that they're humans and they're boycotting some kind of thing. Their hair is all normal. Quicksilver's hair is black or dark brown, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they're normal people. They get turned into these quote unquote miracles. Will they do that with Doctor Strange to where he's an old, physician, a surgeon actually, and you know somebody finds him and they're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna turn you into a special or a miracle, and that's how he gets magic powers. I mean, I would hope that they don't go that route because his story is so awesome, especially in the animated movie that they did a couple years back. Looking at how he changed as a this cocky and real dark character to this lovable guy. Motherfucker, excuse me. Shows that Benedict Cumberbatch can definitely handle that. I mean, if you look at Sherlock, you see that he can be dark. He can be a dick. He can also be a nice guy as well. But yeah, I think he fits the character really well, and can't wait to see what they do with that. I mean, what do you think about the whole magic thing as far as like with Scarlet Witch and him? Do you think that they would go that route to say that they created him, they gave him his powers, or will they go the way of the original story?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I Something tells me that he's just gonna kind of be Doctor Strange from the get go. He's already gonna have his power, and I don't think they're gonna. I really don't. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna try to delve too much into his backstory, which I think it would be really cool because well, I don't know. Like it's kind of weird. All I know is if they, depending on how Scarlet Witch looks in Age of Ultron, I'd be okay with like sort of the same thing happen to him if she's like really badass. And I mean, of course her character is gonna be pretty powerful, but depending on like you said, what she does, like if that scene is her projecting on Ultron, if she has this sort of power, then I'm cool with it. But I don't know. It's that's gonna be a weird route to take because weird. I mean, I don't know if I actually read this or if I'm making this up in my head. So tell me if I'm wrong. But I could have sworn I heard a while back that they're gonna stop. They're not going to do as many origin stories. They're going to start doing a lot of more movies where they're just the character within the first 5 minutes.
I heard that.
Yeah. So I think Phase 3 is a great place to start, where you have Doctor Strange, Black Panther, um, and a couple other characters, and they're just those characters from the get go, and that's where you learn them, a la kind of what Guardians of the Galaxy already did, where they're already established people in that world. They just happen to come together. I think that formula worked. Then again, I mean, it was just those characters, so maybe it only works with those type of characters, and you're not going to be able to do it with something else. But I don't know. I just, as long, whatever it is, I just hope it's badass and people become really big Doctor Strange fans because he's one of my personal favorites as like sort of like a side character that I always really thought he was cool. But like I said, he never had a great enough run in a solo book to really like pop. So I thought, I think with someone like Benedict Cumberbatch, and depending on his origin story or how he becomes in his own movie, I think he could end up exploding and being really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping everything turns out great with it. Um, just want to see how they handle the whole magical element. Will they go with this? He's already the way he is. I mean, he was in the computer um, in Captain America when the soldier, and if there's a little Easter egg, but it was there. People did see that. So maybe he already is Doctor Strange. Maybe we'll get like a slight origin story, like something like a little flashback, like something like what Odin did in Thor when he told about the ice giants and the war that they had. Maybe we'll get something like a little flashback like that. But I doubt it because I think that introducing how Strange was before he became the Sorcerer Supreme. Um, I think that that's something that should be shown to moviegoers to really let them see, like make him more relatable because again he was a dick when he first started out. It wasn't until he injured his hand later on down the line that the story unfolds. I don't want to go too much into spoilers, but it wasn't until that incident that the story unfolds later on, and you get to see like how it changed him by meeting certain people. So if they go that route, I think it'd be great. If they go the whole route where he's created and stuff like that, I don't think it would mesh too well with moviegoers, and I don't think it would mesh too well with fans, just based on the fact that you already have someone who you created, who has the ability to manipulate, um, or to do something upon the line of magic. So being like, oh, we created two of them, it's just kind of corny, man. So um, Doctor Strange comes out November 7th, 2016. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, man. That comes out April 5th, 2017. Wow. It was supposed to come out in June, but yeah, Marvel's like, fuck that. Let's kick off the summer with Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy obviously settled in well with moviegoers and fans alike. We just want to see like where we're gonna go this time around, and if it can carry over the same momentum that the first one took off with. Because we're still high off of Guardians of the Galaxy, but if the second one kind of like slows down the pace and kind of takes away some of the fun, which I doubt that they would do, but just speaking like in general, like if it was to sort of split that and be like, oh well, we're gonna go for a more darker and serious role, it's like I don't know, but hopefully we get introduced to Star Lord's father. Hopefully we see new aliens. We still have Adam, who's out there somewhere. I mean, Cocoon is definitely, it was there. It's not there anymore. What was inside was Adam Warlock, and he's not there anymore. So yeah, but it would be cool to see him, maybe not on the team, but just to see or mention, hear some kind of things about him would definitely be cool. But I don't know, man. What do you think about Guardians of the Galaxy 2 hitting us in 2017?
Oh, of course, I'm super excited for it. I fucking love Guardians of the Galaxy. That movie was so much fun, and I think the great, the best thing they could do is just keep that style, that feel going. Not make it darker, but just keep it going. But just like take them in a different direction. This time they're not dealing with fucking Ronin and obviously and things like that. But they're already a team. They're already established. So I mean, you already know the opening scene is going to be the middle of them in the middle of a giant fight already, and them bickering because that's what made that movie so much fun. But they're definitely going to introduce. They have to introduce Adam Warlock in that film because it's really the only other film you can introduce him in before they get to the first Infinity Wars, which I don't think they would wait till then to introduce him since he's such an integral part of that storyline. So they're definitely going to introduce Adam Warlock because that was the whole thing. Like the whole Easter egg of Guardians of the Galaxy was Adam Warlock's cocoon being opened, and so he's out. He's good to go. He's probably not going to be part of the team, but I think he's going to end up being a big part of that storyline. Now, depending what that storyline is going to be kind of the thing. I mean, maybe the Guardians 2 is kind of what sets up. Thanos probably is going to be in that film a little bit more. And that's kind of going to set up what we're going to eventually get because they're the only ones in all these films that are in space. So that's kind of like it's really the only film you can start setting up those events to bring about all the things with the gems and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, honestly, I would not want to see more of Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy, being that, I mean, like, who's really gonna, like, if he's playing, like, still the Emperor kind of role where he's in the background and he pops up on the screen, or he's sitting in his hover chair, that, in the stars, taking in the sights or something. But to actually see him, like, in the film again, people would be expecting him to actually get his hands dirty. And I don't think that Marvel is trying to step in that direction with Thanos yet. I think that they're really going to leave that, excuse me, for later films, two in particular. But we'll get to those later. But I don't think that we're going to see Thanos much of Thanos, or more of Thanos in this film than we did in the other. Like I still think that he's going to be a background player, uh, throughout those films. I mean, because the majority of the gems are on Earth, so well, technically the other one is in another realm. One is on Earth, but I don't think we're gonna get much of Thanos again. As for Guardians of the Galaxy, where I think they would take it, I mean, like I said before, Adam Warlock. It would be cool if they do incorporate him into this movie. But overall, I think it'll probably be like a good mention, or something, because throwing in, I don't know. To me, it's like this is the Avengers, but this is the Avengers of space. To throw in a separate character in a second film, to me, would feel like, I don't know, like you're really needing somebody to help you carry your film, especially since um, Guardians is sort of like a new product to a lot of people, even comic book readers that didn't know about Guardians. They were really introduced to them through this film. So to throw in somebody and be like, oh, like Adam Warlock, like he's joining the team, or they have to help him do something. I don't know. I think that'd be cool, but then I think like seeing them by themselves again while still interacting with the universe in their ways would be something that I would be more comfortable seeing. Uh, but again, that's just me. But do you think that? I mean, do you really feel that Thanos is really needed?
No, I don't think Thanos is needed. I think like you said, he's going to be sort of the background thing, but it's Guardians 2 is going to start setting up what eventually, like, I think the end of that movie will kind of be, you sort of see, like, I think the big thing with Guardians 2 is probably going to be a big sort of a cliffhanger where you see, oh, this is what Thanos is trying to do. So now we've got to go. I mean, maybe, and then maybe that's what the end of Guardians 2 is, them being like, well, we've got to go to Earth and warn these guys about it or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think of how they could start incorporating this stuff, because obviously they're doing the Infinity stuff in two parts. We'll get to that later. So they could totally introduce all this stuff in the first one, but I think it would be sort of a better primer. And not to have even Adam Warlock in more than fucking 10 minutes of the movie. Like, literally you could have a scene where they're just on another world and Adam Warlock walks by fucking Star Lord, and he just starts saying these weird things, and then you could already see Chris Pratt with giving him a goofy face and going, "Okay, weird guy," and then he walks away, and it's sort of like this precursor where they're just gonna be like, "Hey, that's the guy who's gonna set up all the stuff," and then it's gonna be all the nerds in the audience freaking the fuck out, and then all the regular people be like, "The hell are these guys freak out about? It's just some weird guy with white eyes and a staff and fucking blonde hair."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, adding him in would be something cool to see. But uh,
By the way,
you
real
know,
quick, I just want to say this. I've been thinking about it ever since you said it, because I know it's his name, but hearing it out loud, I don't know why they don't put Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, as the title. Because I just think that's so badass. The Sorcerer Supreme. Sorry. It's just totally off subject, but I think the Sorcerer Supreme is one of the fucking coolest taglines on anybody's name in the Marvel Universe.
no, you're right. It would be definitely be a cool title. But maybe, like I said, like maybe they are doing an origin story for Stephen Strange, and they'll leave that for the second film, maybe Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, or something. Because, um, I mean, keeping it for the first film, just be like, oh, like he already is the Sorcerer Supreme, like something like you said, like it might allude to. But I think they're doing an origin story, so just leaving it as Doctor Strange would straight to the point, and we'll see what happens from there. But I don't know, man. I'm guard as far as Guardians is concerned, I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel. Just hope that they bring somebody else in that could go toe to toe with these guys now, which I think is going to be Star Lord's father. But yeah, Guardians comes out May 5th, 2017. After that, the same year, we have Thor Ragnarok. Now, I'm laughing because I know yesterday when we were talking, you're like, what the fuck? Like Ragnarok? No, what fucking name is that? But I mean, the name Ragnarok means doom of the gods. So I'm assuming that somebody's gonna die, and it's gonna be a lot of shit that's either coming down. I mean, that isn't just dealing within the realms. It might actually leak over into Earth and cause like some kind of destruction down there again. I mean, that would pretty much suck because I'm pretty sure Ultron is going to leave things all sweet and peachy. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Loki's gonna die, man. I'm sorry, I think he's gonna die. Like, what do you think is going on here?
I mean, I like we were talking yesterday. I've heard the term Ragnarok before. I know it's like this big thing. I just never looked into it before, but I don't know. Like this is, I mean, like you said, it's the doom of the gods. So did I think this is gonna be like this is gonna be fucking. It's just gonna be chaos in Thor's realm. And like you said, I also I'm with you. I think Loki's gonna die at the end of it because I think Thor. It's obviously Thor is. It's obviously going to come to light to Thor that that Loki is Odin now, and that Odin is actually dead. So fucking that's gonna send everything into chaos. So I don't know because it's just Ragnarok, so it doesn't really allude you to who the main villain's gonna be. So and then I personally I've enjoyed the Thor films. The first one more than the second one. Thought the second one was good, but I think like the best thing for like the third one is to do just all out chaos and you just show different aliens and worlds and realms and all these different things and you just really see Thor getting beat down and he's got to come out of it and really fucking kick ass. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And at the end of it, it's gonna be Loki dead. That's the one thing I totally agree with you with, and I thought as well. At the end of this movie, Loki is gonna be as dead can get.
I'm also hoping that Natalie Portman's character finally gets off because I'm just tired of her face. I'm just like, come on, get rid of her. But yeah, I mean, if for viewers who did see Thor: The Dark World, you know that Loki is uh, Odin now. We don't know if Odin's dead per se, but you know he's definitely out of the picture for now. Uh, but I definitely think that Tom Hiddleston as an actor is in the kind of the feeling like you know what, I'm doing a little bit too much here. Plus he has I'm pretty sure that he wants to step outside of this Marvel contract or might just let it roll out with Thor Ragnarok and die, kill his character off. I mean, there's so much. I mean, it's the last. I mean, it's the third Thor film. We don't know if they're planning to continue it, which I doubt. I'm pretty sure everything is going to be locked within the trilogy. But I mean, yeah, just end it here. Like, you know, Asgard gets fucked, Earth gets fucked, the Nine Realms get fucked. I mean, these realms get fucked because of Loki's mischief, and introduce some more characters that you know that we haven't seen. Don't just keep it based within Asgard. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that it leaks out into Earth or something, so we get more devastation. This would also contribute to the whole Civil War storyline. I mean, even though this is after, no, it would definitely contribute to that because then more people would be like, shit, like they're gods here, and these people are freaking, you know, bringing their battles to our realm and to our planet. Like, yeah, let's get rid of all of them. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not a big Thor fan as I said before, but you know, depending on how the story is and the trailer is, I mean, hey, I'm looking forward to it. It's Ragnarok, kill them all. So that comes out July 23rd, 2017. After that, we have the third film of 2017, which is Black Panther. We already talked about that pretty much. So that comes out November 3rd, 2017. Now, here's where we go with the what the fucks. And I'm pretty sure we're going to last on this one for a while. Uh, Kicking off 2018 is Captain Marvel. Now, here's my thing, man. I you know I don't really have a problem with a female standalone superhero film at all. I know because I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman. I don't like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, but whatever. I'm looking forward to it. But Captain Marvel, like, why? Like, she's so like. I can understand if Marvel owned all their properties and they had the X Men, and you can go back to that with Rogue or something. Like have something down the line where Rogue and her and Captain Marvel actually interacted. But I don't know. I don't see like there really isn't that much of a juicy story or that much of a strong history unless you go by like recent comics of Captain Marvel. I mean, you don't hear people saying, "Oh my god, I can't wait to pick up that Captain Marvel comic," or "Oh man, do you remember Captain Marvel did this?" Like you're not, it's just like she's there, but you don't really care that she's there. It's sort of like the Jubilee in the X Men series. You're like, yeah, that Asian girl, she's there. She shoots fireworks out of her fingertips. She's there, but I don't want to see a Jubilee movie. The same thing for like Jean Grey. Like, yeah, I mean, you have this prominent, this character there that's really in the forefront, but you're not like, I want to see a Jean Grey standalone movie. So, yeah, when they announced Captain Marvel, I was just like, nah, I'm not interested in seeing that at all. I don't give two shits who it's gonna be. That people are like, oh, Katie Sackhoff. I'm like, no, fuck out of here. Like, I don't think Marvel is stupid enough to go with somebody. And I'm not trying to like really bash her at all. I just don't care for her films. But I don't think Marvel is stupid enough to be like, oh, all right, let's go for Katie Sackhoff because she played in fucking Battlestar Galactica and she was in that Riddick movie in the background. Fuck out of here with that shit. I don't give two shits. And I know I'm ranting. It sounds like I'm ranting here, but I just don't give a fuck, man. I don't care if the trailer is fucking like if she's doing some crazy shit in the trailer. I'm still gonna be like, why is this movie being made, and who is it targeting? Like, what audience are you targeting for it? It's not like again. I'm gonna go to DC. It's not like when you heard a Wonder Woman standalone movie is gonna be done. It's like, oh well, at least that's tied to you know Greek mythology, and she's Wonder Woman. She's part of the Trinity. Captain Marvel is just there. That comes out July. I think it's July 6th or 5th, 2018. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, first of all, they have a male version of Captain Marvel, so we don't really. I mean, I didn't see anything where it was saying it was going to be Miss Marvel, so it could go either way with that. And I mean, second of all, I mean, like
No,
you said,
it's Carol. It's Carol.
I mean, I didn't read that anywhere. They announced that though. But
Yep.
anyways, I mean, that's either here nor there. Who gives a shit? I mean, yeah, like you said, I saw that. I wasn't like, holy shit, fucking Captain Marvel, finally, ruh. But my thing is, Marvel has been pretty calculated with what they're doing, and I think that if they're gonna bring something in as, especially as odd as a Captain Marvel film, they must already have an idea of what it's gonna be, how it's gonna work, and the direction they want to go with it, and they must think it's a pretty good direction to pull out because, like you said, it's no one's knocking down the fucking door for Captain Marvel. But I mean, look, this is my first thought I had was, hey, no one fucking really knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were at first either. And I'm not saying that this is going to do what Guardians of the Galaxy is the same sort of thing, but Guardians of the Galaxy was sort of a big question mark. You didn't really know what was going to come of it. And everyone had kind of forgotten about Guardians of the Galaxy up until the trailer was really getting announced. And like everyone was, because maybe they came out with the artwork and they showed what it was going to be. But then everything kind of died down after that because Avengers came up and all that. So I don't know. I don't really have a positive or negative stance on it. It's just a big question mark for me. I don't read. I don't think I've ever read a Captain Marvel comic, Miss Marvel, whichever. So I don't know. Who knows what direction they're going to go with it? All I know is that so far with Marvel's track record, I trust them with what they've done. So if they're going to bring that out, I think they've got a pretty good idea with what they're going to do with it. So me, depending, I mean, I'll just wait for a trailer, and if the trailer doesn't interest me, I probably won't go see it. It's kind of where I stand on it.
I don't know. Uh, like I said, I don't give two shits about Carol Danvers or Captain Marvel. I mean, she's just not an interesting character. She's not someone who I would see having a standalone film. I also don't see there being a high demand. I see this as a risk. Like Marvel's basically like, you know what? Let's think outside the box here, but also let's sorry if you hear the police sounds in the background. It's New York City. People get shot every day. No, I'm just but yeah, I mean personally I don't care about Carol Danvers. Never heard anybody say anything about, oh my god, there has to be a Captain Marvel movie. I mean, there's been a little bit of people that have been like that. There've been like a couple of websites that have been trying to hype it up because they're either friends with Katie Sackhoff, and they're like, oh, you'd be so perfect for Katie Sackhoff, blah 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 blah. But really, like the fans, I've never heard anybody say we need a Miss Marvel movie or a Captain Marvel movie. The only thing that I could see coming from this is that she gets her powers from the Kree, so it would be like kind of space oriented, like they'll be in space. But besides that, I mean, like, who cares, man? Like, I'm pretty sure like females are gonna listen to this and like, oh, you're a fucking jerk, you fucking all that shit. Nah, fuck that. She's just an uninteresting character. She flies around. She's basically Supergirl. I don't care. Like, I just don't care, man. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it's just it is what it's gonna be. You're never gonna bat 1,000 all the time. It's like you said, it's a gamble, but the fuck, man, they've made fucking billions so far, so fuck it. There's one dud or a couple duds. It's bound to happen at some point, so might as well make a dud with, for the most part, a character like you said nobody cares about instead of flopping with fucking a character everybody loves.
You're right. So that comes out July 6th, 2018. After that, we have the Inhumans. That comes out November 2nd, 2018. Now, we've heard rumors that Vin Diesel is going to be playing Black Bolt. And, a lot of people are just like, how's he going to be Black Bolt, but he's going to do voice Groot? Well, he has like one line in Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm Groot. No, it's not like he's physically there. His voice is, it's altered a bit, but his voice is there. But him actually being physically on the set of a Marvel, production or being involved in a Marvel film, physically, it would be great. I mean, in my opinion. Plus, I think the Inhumans are long overdue, man. I think their comic is these characters are really deep and really relatable. And again, it's long overdue, man. How do you feel about the Inhumans?
I never read in the Inhumans comics, but I'd always like seen stuff with them in it, and I'd always heard like I remember them being very popular. I remember somebody I knew loved, I mean, fucking loved the Inhumans. That was like his favorite. So as far as that goes, like I know the name and I saw the name and I was like, that was one that I'm really gonna look forward to because it's a comic that I'm not exactly familiar with, but I know it's got a great track record and awesome characters. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's probably I would say that's probably like out of all the solo movies before, like what comes at the very end, that's probably like that's one of the top two that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, plus like their story is so interesting. I mean, you go back to the Kree and Skull War, back when Earth was still in its infancy, and you had the cavemen going around, the primitive Homo sapiens, and basically the Inhumans were created from these regular cavemen type people. So I mean, it's a cool story to see, their origins and then see where they are now. I find it very different. And Marvel is playing around with different areas. They're playing around with space. They're playing around with Earth, modern time. They're playing around with with the Inhumans, which takes place, millions of years ago. I mean, they're obviously still around modern time, but playing around with these different portions of the universe is something great. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel like I'm looking forward to that more than Thor, more than fucking Captain Marvel. I just want to see how they introduce these new characters that a lot of people still don't know about to the big screen. And I think that Vin Diesel would be a great actor to get for Black Bolt, not just because he's bald headed, but because he actually fits that role. He looks like Black Bolt. It would work perfectly. I feel. I definitely feel that it would work perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a series I don't know much about. So like, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think that'll be pretty cool. And it'll be different to see Marvel do something different with different type of characters like they did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. So like I said, that comes out November 2nd, 2018, and then we get to the final two movies that Marvel announced: Avengers Affinity War Part One and Part Two. And it's funny because a couple of weeks ago, you and I were actually talking about them splitting these films up and how it would affect the audience and whatnot. I know you were for it. Um, Seeing that it's actually dealing with the Infinity War, it definitely would need to be split into two films. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Infinity War Part One comes out May 2018, and Part Two comes out May 2019. And this is a pretty much wrap up Phase Three. So I mean, the trailer, the teaser trailer that they showed, is fucking epic. It takes you back to Iron Man and then Captain America, and it shows you their interactions with the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gem, and at the end, basically, you see Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's just standing there like smirking, like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, I'm coming for y'all." Aha! So, I mean, what did you think, man? Like when they first showed the title Avengers Infinity War and you see Thanos with the gauntlet, like what was your first reaction, man?
My first reaction was, why the fuck is this called the Infinity Wars and not the Infinity Gauntlet? I mean, I'm not. I mean, that was literally my first thought because fucking everybody knows that the Infinity Gauntlet is a big series and was pretty big at the time, and the Infinity Wars, I don't think fucking a lot of people were into. So they're obviously, in my opinion, they're going the Infinity Gauntlet route, but for some fucking reason, we need to call it the Infinity Wars. This is like literally the only thing that I'm pissed off at Marvel right now for. It's like, why can't it just be fucking called the Infinity Gauntlet? Because you're gonna have all these assholes running out and buying fucking the Infinity Wars comic, and then fucking no one's gonna fucking know what's going on because you're gonna be running around with Adam Warlock's fucking doppelganger, and then the movie's gonna come out and it's all gonna be about fighting Thanos, and no one's gonna know what the fuck's going on. And it's I mean I'm actually like, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm actually really pissed that they called it Infinity Wars. I want just call it the fucking Infinity Gauntlet because that's what you're making. You're not making Infinity Wars. You're going to make the unless part one's going to be Infinity Gauntlet and part two is going to be Infinity Wars, which I don't know how the fuck you're going to those two into two separate movies, but I'm actually kind of a little pissed off about that, to be honest.
I mean, like overall, you're pissed off because of the title itself and it sort of being misleading. That's why you're upset.
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm getting right now. I've been fucking stoked from the beginning, from the end of the first original Avengers, and they did that whole thing where it was fucking obvious which way they were going. When to court them is to court death, and you see the motherfucker smile, you know it's supposed to be the Infinity Gauntlet, and all they've been talking about is the Infinity Stems. Look, I'm super fucking stoked for the movies. Done well, these two films will be hands down the greatest action sci-fi movies that ever get created because fucking shit is gonna go down. But yeah, I'm just kind of I don't know, man. I gotta be honest. I'm a little pissed off at the title. Like fucking call it what it is. Don't fucking call it something else.
I don't know. I don't care too much for the title. What I care about is how they're gonna bring everybody in the universe. I mean, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe into the fold of this war because I don't know. You're gonna have Guardians of the Galaxy. In the teaser trailer, they actually showed you, gave you a hint that the Guardians are going to meet up with the Avengers. You're gonna have obviously Captain Marvel. Um, like I said, the Guardians. Excuse me. Avengers. Black Panther. You're gonna have these people there, but what other new faces are we gonna see? You know, who else is gonna be tied to this? Is Thanos coming down solo, or are the Avengers and everybody going up to space to fight him? Like, what's happening? You know, that's all I really care about. Like, how they're really going to handle this. And I wonder if this is going to be the last Avengers film, man. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think that this would be the last Avengers film, that Marvel would give up the Avengers after this? Or do you think that this would just be like sort of like getting rid of certain main Avengers right now? And by getting rid of, I mean like killing them off and bringing in some new faces that'll permanently be a part of the Avengers going forward.
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, maybe they'll kind of take a break with the Avengers after this. Maybe it's going to be kind of what it is because I mean, if you're going to do this storyline and you're going to send these guys through hell, which is exactly what they're going to fucking go through, you should probably have a little bit of respect and give them like maybe a year or two of quiet before you fucking send them off to fight another fucking huge deal. But I mean, they're going to introduce it probably the way it kind of is in the comic. It's going to be a mixture of It's going to be Adam Warlock and Doctor Strange coming together. I mean, that's the way I see it happen. It's a lot of it's going to kind of be the way it is in the comics. Doctor Strange is going to open like a portal through the galaxy, and Adam Warlock's going to get these guys all together, and then it's just going to be a fucking giant war in space. I mean, I don't know if it's going to
Yeah,
be
but you
what.
no, you also had Guardians of the Galaxy and the Humans tied into that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and maybe that'll be the thing. Maybe like Adam Warlock is sort of the one who gets all those guys together. Doctor Strange gets all the Avengers together, and that's how they meet up. I mean, I don't know. Like the way it is in the comic is just the fact that Adam Warlock and Doctor Strange. I mean, of course, the Silver Surfer is a part of it, but they don't have the rights to Silver Surfer as of yet. That's kind of like the big thing, how they come together, and then they go meet Thanos in the middle of space. I mean, I think it's going to get set up through all of the other movies. It's slowly, surely going to come, and then you're not going to know exactly how it is, but I think there's going to be hints throughout all the other separate films of how they are going to be meeting up. Now, I didn't see the teaser you're talking about. The only thing I saw online was literally the part where Thanos smiles, and then you look back and it's the Infinity Gauntlet on his hand. I didn't see the part all leading up before that where they showed everything else.
Yeah, it's on the site. I updated the video.
Yeah, no, when I clicked on it, all it showed was Thanos and the Gauntlet. So I mean, like, I'm just saying, I didn't see that
No,
part.
I mean today.
Oh, it came out today.
Yeah, I updated it today, this morning.
Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, I just haven't watched it yet then. But I don't know. Like, it's a lot like the other thing. I all I know is that Doctor Strange and Adam Warlock are going to be the big key, in my opinion, about it. And then how they're going to fit everybody else in, I don't fucking know. I really couldn't tell you how all those guys fit in together besides Doctor Strange opening up a portal and being like, hey, Star-Lord, this is Captain America, go fight the big guy, and just kicks him in the butt and they all go through the portal.
I don't know. I mean, I doubt it's gonna be Alan Warlock. I don't see him coming in the series at all. As far as the cinematic universe is concerned, like like I said, like maybe a mention, maybe like a little cameo. But as far as like being a major role, I don't know. Then again, Marvel could announce anything between now and 2019. So who knows? But yeah. I mean, do you think that this would be the end? I mean, I know what you said that they could lay off it for a while, but then what would you really follow up with if the Thor and the Iron Man films are pretty much over?
I don't know. Like that's I don't know. I mean, maybe you call it quits for a couple of years. You focus on a couple other characters, and they just maybe the comics will give you something else to go on after that. It's I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you how you do it. I mean, like I said, I barely know how they're gonna get everybody to this point. What they're gonna do afterwards? That's a giant fucking. That's it could be anything after that.
True, true. So that's May 2018 for part one, May 2019 for part two. That's all Marvel really released. They didn't really speak any more on anything else. Sadly, we don't know who's going to be playing Carol Danvers. We just know the movie's coming out. Um, I don't know, man, because this is going to get a lot of flack to being that Wonder Woman is coming out with a standalone film, and then Carol Danvers is coming out with a standalone film. Wonder Woman's film is going to actually come out before Captain Marvel's. But do you think that I mean, Marvel probably had this in the bag for a minute. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they did it afterwards. But do you think that this, if the Captain Marvel movie does fail, do you think that this would pretty much put female superhero standalone films in a dark corner? Now, I'm not saying that Wonder Woman fell. I say Wonder Woman did good and Carol Danvers, I mean, Marvel did well, or Captain Marvel did well and Wonder Woman's failed. Do you think it would still shot like people would still be like, I'm not fucking with that. Like we gave you a try the first time and we're not gonna mess with it anymore.
I think Hollywood in general is kind of afraid to put a female leading action movie up front in general. So I don't know, man. That's kind of like that's a weird thing to call because you don't like I said, I think if either of them were to fail, I think it would be Marvel's version of Captain Marvel because I think, like you said, Wonder Woman is way more established, and even a lot of male readers really enjoy her comics. But I don't know, like we've talked about it before. I don't really see them doing much past a single standalone Wonder Woman film, anyways, for the most part. So I don't. Marvel would probably have to find a better character to put up there as a female, but I can't really think of any. So yeah, it's a male. It's really a male dominated thing. So if it failed, yeah, I mean, if anything fails, they're gonna be gun shy about going in that direction again at all. Like if Guardians of the Galaxy failed, you wouldn't be hearing about a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 already. So if a Captain Marvel film fails, you're not really going to see them suddenly be like, well, look, we've got 4 movies for Phase 4 lined up. And they're all female characters. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. Because like you said, if Guardians of the Galaxy had failed, people like Marvel would have been like, oh, okay, they didn't take this too well, so let's sweep this under the rug. Let's save it up for like another phase. Maybe people will like it a little bit more if we include other characters. But yeah, I mean, if Captain Marvel fails, they'll probably they'll probably do what happened with Man of Steel is add somebody in to help them carry the film together or something because it definitely won't be another one. Not at least not standalone. I think that Marvel is smart enough to know when they've lost a fight and they wouldn't go back again with their arms and legs broken trying to beat someone with their chin. I mean, they're not Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which just made me vomit in my mouth a little bit just thinking about that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, Wonder Woman, I'm mainly looking forward to just to see how they handle that. Captain Marvel, I'm just like, no. It's just like, and it's not. I don't want female listeners to assume that it's because she's a female, because obviously I'm saying I support Wonder Woman, and it's not because I'm focused more on DC over Marvel. I respect both properties. It's just that as a character for a standalone film, I don't see Carol Danvers really hitting the mark with certain fans. Of course, they're going to be those certain female, you know, moviegoers that are going to be like, oh, well, this is freaking history. There's a freaking a super female superhero movie coming from Marvel, who at one time said that they wouldn't do such a thing, which is funny because they did say like, no, we're not gonna do a female standalone film. But then they got flack, and people were like, all right, that's why, let's start out in 2018 and let's make it suck, so that people will be like, yeah, see, yeah, look, we gave it to you, but it sucked. It sucked. So yeah, I mean that's my opinion on that, man. Like I said, that's all Marvel really announced. We're still looking to hear if there's going to be an official announcement from Benedict Cumberbatch, Cumberbitch, whatever. But yeah, that's our opinions on Marvel's lineup. You can check us out on iTunes. Wow, I'll edit this shit out. But yeah, like I said, that's the lineup. That's what we think about it. And again, guys, this is Sean
This is Joe.
from Geeks and Around. Stay tuned for more podcast episodes, and we'll see you guys later. Peace. Yeah, man. I mean, I honestly, like I said,